MFL Nation, finals, baby. Here we go. Can't believe it. Already that time of year. We're done semifinals, Terry, and now we're into the finals.
Yes, and you have the honor of playing in them.
Yes. I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Like I know I've been saying it for like the past two or three shows. This season flew by. Like before we were recording, I want to go see some of the past videos, and like I looked at the episode one of this video. I'm like, oh my God! Like I wasn't even like in this house yet. Like it was crazy.
That's true, right?
Um, all the finals at Le Bear. We have three time slots, two finals per time slot. We have the Division One and Women's co-main event at the end of the day. You know, in the UFC have the co-main events there,
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
final ones. But all the finals are important. Every single final is going to be a great one. I think I told you it's fun fact. Every single final besides Division Two, I think it's the one against the two seed. Uh,
So we're right. Safe to say we got the right teams making it.
and even Division Two, it's the one against the three, I believe. Um, Yeah. Before I forget, little special announcement. Diego's company, Just Carry It, will be giving a 10% rebate to every champion that will be ordering a full set of uniforms, shorts and shirts included. So if you win this weekend and you want to get a new set of gear, maybe have a little championship fall 2024 logo on it or something, Diego's gonna be offering a 10% off. Um, so
Respect.
yeah, respect
Respect.
indeed. Without further ado, warning to everyone watching that lost this past weekend. We're not going to talk about you much because it's literally finals weekend. Like we're talking about the winners. We're going to preview these finals, and that's what's most important. We might go over it really quickly, but I ain't opening up no box score of any losing team, including ours.
Yeah, I love
So let's dedicate this episode to the two remaining teams of each division. It's a long season, 11-week regular season, 10 games. A lot of teams have already won. Most teams have won two playoff games to get there. Some have won one, some have won two. Some have to win three to be crowned champions. Let's focus our attention on those well-deserved teams now.
Good call. So we got games at 10:30, at 12, and then 1:30.
10:30, 12, 1:30, exactly.
Okay.
Hopefully, we won't be as chilly since we're starting at 10:30 and not at 9:30. At 9, I mean.
Yeah, true, true. Okay, good, good. Get a little bit of a sleep, and I like that.
Maybe we could go for brunch.
Oh yeah, I want you down. Want you down.
Um, what division do you want to go to first?
Let's start with Div 5.
Where'd you go?
You had a heck of a lot of good games. I know you and I had stayed to watch some of the. I believe we watched the D4 semifinals with FAT players was playing, and then we watched the
Oh yeah.
Reaction Squad. A lot of good games this weekend.
So you said Div 5?
Yeah, let's start with Div 5 though.
All right. Yeah, so Division 5, we got Slicks and Jungle Squad, the top two teams during the regular season. So Slicks were heavily favored in this one against 28 to 3. 28-3 missing a couple of players, put up a good fight. This one was kind of surprising to me. Jungle Squad, the last calls. Not that Jungle Squad won the game, but in the fashion that they won by 26 points when they last calls had one of the best, if not the best, offense all season long. But in the end, the two lost teams make it to the finals. And I believe they played against each other in the regular season, and Slicks were victorious in that one. Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, yeah, over here. 39 to 12. So let's get it out of the way. Who do you like in this game? Just make your pick right off the bat, and then we'll talk about it.
Right after that, straight away. Okay, that's a good one. Well, just to say, like you said, I was surprised with the last calls. We were at McDonald's talking about the games that happened, and I was shocked to see the last calls only put up 6 points. The Jungle Squad defense is looking good, but so is the Slicks. I got a really close game, Terry. I'm going to go just by the skin of their teeth. Slicks win the D5 championship. I'm going 27-25. Slicks are your D5 champions for fall 2024.
Yeah, there's only one thing I hate more than agreeing with you.
Yeah.
It's being wrong, and so I'm gonna go with Slicks as well. Uh, it's gonna be a very close one. Look, um, it's really I'm saying Slicks as if, but it's gonna be really close. Like if Jungle Squad win, I will not be at all surprised. I don't think Jungle Squad are a huge underdog in this game. I really think it's like a 51 to 49 percent margin of victory. Like you're not gonna make a lot of money betting on the underdog in this one because Jungle
Mhm.
Squad aren't that much of an underdog here, led by Goldrick Noel. What's great about the Jungle Squad team is that they have been in the MFL for quite some time now, and they have a few players that are injured, nursing injuries, and or took some time off and not playing this season. But the one game I ref them, I think it was against Titans in the quarterfinals. They had the whole squad there. The jungle was there. The jungle was encouraging them, and they were all there, and they won that one 38-25. I know Slicks have been nursing a few injuries or have had a bit more of an inconsistent roster and have had not a lot of players for their previous playoff games. Let's look if there were more than six players here. I know there were just six in the quarterfinals when they
Mhm.
beat Big Booties. Here there were seven in this one here. I think there were six. So like if Slicks only show up with six or seven players and Jungle Squad have that 8-9 man roster there, it could definitely play a role, right? We know both quarterbacks like to buy time, like to run a lot, but Gold is also showing that he has a great arm, right? Um,
We got both teams rallying off a bunch of straight wins, right? That's 6 straight wins for Jungle Squad, and I think even more than that for Slicks. So two teams coming in really, really hot. This is a finals thing you love to see.
yeah, and look, Pirat and David definitely the top two guys for Slicks, right? We know the ball goes through them. Look, together they have 18 out of the 33 touchdown passes, um, almost 400 yards. Like it's like 75% of their offense is going through those two guys, right? And
Yeah.
understandably so, both of them are solid. You got Scott leading the way on defense with 7 picks, 7 PDs. Well, Pirat also has 8 picks, 7 PDs. David with 10 PDs, and they have a rusher by committee with Ryan and Lucas, 9 total sacks. It's really Luca's ability with his legs. That's good. Like, man, every finals game is going to be exciting to watch. Like, I think I'm not gonna. I think we have good enough officials now that I'm not gonna officiate any of these games, and I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and watch every single finals that I can. And a lot of them they're two happening at a time, so I'll try to get the most of them.
Mhm.
But I'm excited for this one. And Goldrick taking this team from look, Jungle Squad in the spring. Where were they? They were not in the playoffs. They were dead last, 2-8, flipping the script and going 8-2 in the fall, all the way to the D5 finals. And I think 2 springs ago, they were winless or they won their one win on the season. In the fall, they showed some hope. Um, I think they made a little bit of a play. Sorry, fall. Where are they? Oh yeah, they were there 6-4. Made a bit of a
Mhm.
playoff run there. Um, uh, yeah, let me go
You're
quickly.
right, though. I remember there was a point in time we talked about Jungle Squad, like in the same conversation as Los Politos, a team that that was coming every week, that was trying super hard, and that just wasn't able to rally off wins. Unfortunately, they would have 1 win, 2 wins, and the fact that the roster is not all that much different than it was last season or 2 seasons ago, and that Goldrick has been obviously the main difference at the quarterback position is says a lot to him. He's had a season where he's carried the team, put the team on his back, and what I like about this team is that I think on both sides of the football is they're very very complimentary. We saw that in their last game, holding the last calls to 6 points. Like I just said on the top of the show, very very surprising to see that. And so they have that star-studded offense with Goldrick taking the snaps, having his unique playbook where sometimes he throws the underhand, sometimes he throws the overhand, sometimes he kind of just runs up the middle.
The backhand.
Backhand, yeah, Patrick Mahomes backhand. Sometimes he just HB dives it, right? He just runs runs off the middle, and gets yards doing that. But then let's say their offense is struggling, their defense can pick up the load as well. And I think that's very similar to Slicks too. We've seen them have a great defense throughout the course of the season, and with Luka at the quarterback position, he's always in command of this offense. Whether he's running the ball, this is one thing I'm looking forward to. I want to see if Jungle Squad how they decide to play Pirat. I think he's going to be we talk about X factors when you're talking about championship games and big playoff games is how are they going to slow down that connection of Luka and Pirat, because that's one that's been one of the best in the division, if not the best in the division. not going for a ton of touchdowns, but going for a lot of catches. And will Goldrick avoid Pirat when he's on offense, right? When Pirat is playing defense and Jungle Squad is playing O, is it going to be a situation where let's avoid Pirat and try and throw away from him, or does Goldrick just go out there and try and play his game? That's a few things I'm looking forward to seeing in this matchup.
Really, that was great insights. I think that was your best take of the whole show, like of the whole year, actually.
You guys see your best for the finals,
Did
eh?
you do your homework for this show?
It's finals. Come on, you always got to do your homework.
You don't always do your homework. Did you actually do some a little research before the
Yeah, it's
show?
just finals, of course. Fine. The one day I'm gonna do my homework, it's gonna be for the finals.
I'm impressed, and yeah, as I'm showing on the screen now. I didn't want to cut you off. I've been getting better at that. You saw that Jungle Squad are clearly a fall team. You don't go in the jungle in the spring. The jungle's made for the fall, right? When it gets darker, dark out earlier, colder. You see in the fall they lost in the semifinals as well to Bearhood, which had no business being in that division last fall. By a score of 27-12, who ended up being your Division 5 champions. So I think they're playing for a lot right now. And speaking of homework, Gojic has been a great teacher for this team now. But I agree, but also disagree with carrying the team on his back. Yes, Goldricks has done great, but they have a few ballers in Julian Perry, both going for almost 400 yards, combining for 18 touchdowns. Definitely 1A, 1B on this team, especially Perry with almost 60 catches on the season through 9 games only. Julian, 9 picks on defense to go along with 10 pass defended. Ezra, 5 picks. Um, Unfortunately, Elena's hurt. She won't be able to play. 8 sacks on the season. But Francois has been rushing in the playoffs in her place and getting a little chirped by his teammates that they've been telling me, you're not Elena, you're not Elena. But he's been doing a pretty fair job as well. So, like, this team, like, it's so evenly matched. And, like, I am picking Slicks, but, like, I really, really, really would be surprised if this game does not come down to converts or if it's at most a one score game, like one touchdown game here.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. Like I said, I got 27-25. Slicks, I really do it seeing coming down to converts. Could very well be, the last team that has the ball ends up, pulling away with victorious. I like how this is two, evenly matched teams and two teams that have been there, that have, done that and that have playoff experience. So, not teams that are necessarily new at this stage of the
Mm.
game.
Remember when Slick started off as My Ball Zach Ertz and that disturbing picture? And look at them now. They have nice jerseys, multicolors, even a logo that says when they've been established. So I'm hoping they're going to keep this one for a while. I'm not going to go back to the balls of Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
But great to see them. I'm really happy for both these teams. Like, I wish both of them could win. Like, I'd be really happy for either of them winning. They both deserve it. Congratulations for making it this far, and best of luck to both of you.
Well said, brother.
What division next?
Let's go. Let's go to 4.
So in Division 4, we have the battle at top two. We have Witching Hour, who went undefeated, sitting at 12-0 right now. Sorry, 11-0 because they had a first round bye, going up against Blue Badgers, who ironically won their first ever playoff game, I believe, this past weekend. This team I think they've had an undefeated season as well. They got their revenge over Action Squad, who were the Winter Division 3 champs, and upset them this past winter season. This has been like a perennial top 1 or 2 team in every division they've played in almost, and finally having that finals berth. They played against Witching Hour late in the regular season. I think each team had already clinched 1 and 2, so maybe they did not show their cards at all there, because hopefully this is not a preview of what we're going to see this Saturday in the finals, right?
I'd be shocked. I'd be really surprised. Yeah. And both teams have great players. Both teams have quarterbacks that have improved as the season has gone on. And we saw we watched both the semifinals games that were at the same time. Blue Badgers dominated really their game from start to finish against Action Squad. That Witching Hour game against FAT players, it was a
Game of the
close.
week. That was the game of the week.
That was the game of the week. Really, when you got two good teams like that, two high-scoring offenses, I could see this championship game being a little bit similar to that, game that Witching Hour just played in the Witching Hour FAT players. But no, that 31-7 game, the point spread in this game, I think, is maybe Witching Hour favored by 5.5 points. them being undefeated and having not lost in the season, they're obviously coming in as favorites. But Blue Badgers too, Terry, only giving up 150 points in the regular season. That's 15 points a game to witching hours like 13.8 points a game. So great defenses win championships, and we've seen it in this division as well. But no, I'm going a much closer game here. I don't know if we're doing our picks soon, but I got an 8 point victory for one of these teams.
Look, it's so rare to see a team go undefeated and a team that they finished first in points for, first in points against. They haven't lost a game all season. They can win close games. They can win shootout games. Look, they're led by their quarterback Mathieu Tessier and Stan Vincent offensively. Even Charles Cloutier, great ball distribution there. Um, Look, I really think witching hour, the only way they could lose this game is if they beat themselves. They had a really close one. It was probably good that they played in a very close game in the semifinal and they came out victorious. So they're not coming into this finals thinking like nothing could go wrong. They showed adversity in that game. They ended up winning it, but I don't even know what to say besides do what you've been doing, right? There's literally they're the clear favorites in this one, right? Not that big Blue Badgers do not stand a chance. I have my X factors and my keys to victory for them coming up, but for witching hour, it's hard to see if anything could go wrong, right?
I just think that the speed aspect of this game may be a little bit, too much for Blue Badgers to handle. I think that, you got athletes from A to Z on this witching hour team, and you do the same for Blue Badgers, but I think like the athleticism stands out a little bit more, and just the speed and the ability to kind of turn the corner, make a catch, and make defenders miss. I see that a little bit more prominent with witching hour. But then you have Oliver Quinn right on this team from Blue Badgers that has been the heart and soul of the MFL teams he's been on. Right, 45 catches. We saw him have a nice touchdown last
Yeah,
game where he
yeah.
got hammered.
He'll draped up all in that end zone, but you can be all over him and he'll still catch the ball, right?
Right, that's the thing. When you have you got a tight end frame like him, and when you got hands like him, it's not often you're going to be able to stop him. So you got some great players on both these teams.
You say
I'm
tight end
just
frame, but he's leading the team in average yards per reception over 11, right? No one else besides Gabriel in double digits there. So like he gets open deep or he has those yak yards.
Kyle Pitts type tight end
Well,
almost.
when they use him,
Yeah. When Kyle Pitts is
Oliver is
used,
used pretty much a lot more than Kyle Pitts is.
yes, that's for sure. But
Kyle Pitts of Florida.
yeah, true for real. Well said. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried. That's been my concern too. You said keys to victory for Blue Badgers is I think the speed for the switching hour team may be a little bit too much for Blue Badgers to handle.
Look, I hate to put more pressure on a quarterback because the quarterback position already has so much pressure. Like you know it. But to me, Olivier Wattier is really the X factor in this game. Maybe not as much offensively, but defensively, he led the team with 11 interceptions through 10 games. He's always up there, top interceptions every season, while playing full-time quarterback. Like you know how hard it is to play both ways and never get off the field, and especially as a quarterback, when it's all in your head, it's so mental of a game, and to not be able to like be on the sideline. And I appreciate that so much now to be on the sideline when I'm quarterbacking and just think of my next drive. So to put up the numbers he's putting on both sides of the ball is so impressive. Uh, and he has the speed to match anyone on witching hour, and he has the legs to buy time, extend the plays. The one thing that I think Blue Badgers need to do this game for to be to their advantage must not be a shootout. The more the game remains low scoring, the more it works to their advantage. They need long drives. You want witching hour to have the ball to not have the ball least amount as possible. You don't want them to run like 60 plays in this game. I mean, not 60, but like 40 plays in this game. If they can only have between 20 to 25 plays and only have the chance to score 4 or 5 touchdowns at most, you stop them once or twice, get a pick here or there, that's when you could be dangerous. If you go high pace, try to go pound for pound, Fat Players is probably one of the best teams to do that against them, and they still end up losing the game. You want long drives. Try to milk the clock as much as you can. You're going to start with the ball. Best case scenario is you take up a good 7, 8 minutes off the clock, you score, you get a convert. That's the goal. You start like that, you're in business. You don't, it's not the end of the world. You stop, you need maybe one additional stop in the game. But the most important thing is witching hour could score within, like we saw it, 2 seconds, 10 seconds. They can score
That was
two touchdowns
that
in a
game,
minute.
man. I was like watching. It's like watching a college team. Honestly, it's like watching
Big
an
Ten.
SEC or a Big Ten
No,
matchup.
not SEC. Blue Badgers need to play like the SEC because the
Yeah,
SEC plays like
yeah.
pro level football. Milk that clock, run your plays. Even if you're just gaining 3, 4 yards each play, it doesn't matter. You just gotta average 3 yards a pop to get that first down and move the chains, right? The last thing you want to do really is, to me, my opinion, is to play that fast-paced football. And like, if the halftime you're down a score, but you guys only got a 2 or 3 possessions, that's exactly what you want. You don't want them having more than 5, 6 possessions in this game, and that way they can't it won't be a shootout and they won't be scoring at will, right?
Yeah, well said. Well said. Do you have a pick made in this game? Your mindset, your heart set on the
Yeah,
team.
I
Yeah,
got
I guess.
I
Yeah.
got this game tied going into halftime. I actually
Okay.
had Blue Badgers up with about a minute to go, and witching hour tied the game up to go into half, and then they score to take the lead in the second half with the first, because they're probably going to start on offense to start the second half, and
Yeah,
that's when the game's going to break away for them. And I got witching hour winning it 30-20.
I like that. I'm gonna go. Look, the 1972 Dolphins went undefeated, like everybody knows. Pull up the undefeated season and went perfect and winning the championship game. They didn't just go undefeated and lose in the Super Bowl. They won it all. I got Witching Hour replicating that, and I'm going to go 34-26 Witching Hour. I do have a tight game too at half. I could see maybe even Blue Badgers being up at the half, similar to what you said. But I just think that the speed and athleticism of Witching Hour near the end of the game is kind of going to prove a little bit too much for Blue Badgers to handle. So yeah, I got Witching Hour 34-26. Your D4 champions.
What division?
Let's go Div 2.
So Division Two, we had two semifinals that were pretty not one-sided at all. The only division where it's not the one against the 2 seed here, we have the 1 and 3 seed after all these standings were cleaned up and everything, meeting in the finals. Respect are your defending champions. Actually, respect are your defending champions. We got Respect 2.0 in the finals here. Maybe that's the glitch to allow them to win the championship, as we've seen here. Well, I guess the franchise changed the name to 2.0, so the spring champs were considered Respect 2.0. But there will be a repeat champion in Division Two for the first time now.
That's true. We joked about that. Not even just the first time, a team winning it back to back, like literally a team winning a second chip is it's pretty remarkable. It's been a while since Night Cities won their chip, though, eh?
Yeah, it's been a minute. So these teams faced off in the regular season. One of Respect's only 2 losses in actual on actually playing on the field. Um, Guillaume has a cannon of an arm. He has Andrews, probably one of the best players in all of MFL, really the fastest. Like this is Showtime football, right? This is gonna be maybe one of the most exciting games of this weekend. I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. Unfortunately, um, and look, in this game, I believe Respect we're missing quite a few players, right? Dylan was not there. I believe he's actually suspended. Edouard, one of their fastest players who can probably maybe not keep up with Andrew. I don't want to disrespect him, obviously, the way you did in that game, but definitely one of the Respect's faster players. They were also missing Justin White in this game, a key player on defense, right? So, like, look, Nice Cities beat them by 3 points. They were missing Dylan and Justin, who are arguably their 2 best defenders. How much weight do you put in this game? Do you come up to this game confident, thinking, "Oh, I beat you once, I could beat you again," or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And Steve played defense in this game.
Right, that's true. No, that is true. But look, I mean, it's a good point, but I still think this game does carry some weight. Like they were able to pick off Steve three times, which is not people struggle to do it once or twice. They picked him off 3 times, which is
Yeah, but he was tired playing defense the whole game.
yeah, it's true. He was tired playing defense, and he didn't have his main partners in crime. But still, I think it's you still did beat one of the best, if not the best team in the division,
Yeah,
regardless of who was playing at at the time. And you had ballers too, right? Like you had James Nguyen going for 10 catches, 111 yards. They had Laurent that game too, 108 yards, 3 touchdowns. So it's not like Nice Cities held them to 12 or 18 points because they didn't have their star players. They did still score quite a bit. Did respect. You got to be confident in this game, both teams. What I'm doing before this game is, if I'm an analyst, I'm taking both defensive coordinators and saying how how are you planning this game? For Dylan, how are you going to plan to stop the Andrew and Guillaume connection? Last time they played, he went for 96 yards, 3 touchdowns, and got an extra point. So we know Andrew, like you said, the face of MFL, one of if not the best player on
Hall of
both
Famer
sides of
now.
football. Yeah. So I'm asking Dylan like how he's going to plan to shut down, or is the game plan just to slow down this offense, slow down Andrew? Is it going to be like a high-low coverage? And then I'm asking Nice TDs and their defensive caller, whether it's Andrew or Guillaume, how they plan on stopping Steve. Right, Steve, we know likes to the common triple slants and stuff, but he has developed a lot more of a deep ball over the course of this season and over the course of his playing career. So I'm really, really curious to see what both defensive coordinators decide to do. If they're looking for a player they want to take away from the game or try and limit, or if it's just let's go out there, play our game, and play our defense and see what happens because we trust it. We trust it enough to make plays.
You still see the screen with niceties and respect now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's super well said. Like, and like to me, nice TDs, the game plan that they had against us. Like, well, first, a game plan is just theoretical, right? You could talk, you could spill out the best game plan. You could talk about it in the chat all week. You could have the best pieces in place, the best components, and it's all about execution the day of, right? Like, if the day's a bit too cold or it's a bit rainy or you didn't sleep well the night before or mentally something's off or you had a fight with your wife or something like that, an argument with your wife and or your best friend or something like something else is on your mind. It's all about the execution, the day. That's why we always say games are won on the football field, right? So each of these two teams, 100%. I'm curious to see what the game plan is going to be from the defensive play callers, how they're going to try to stop the opponent's top gun quarterback. But it's all about execution. And one of the reasons that Niceties whooped our asses this past Saturday was the execution was phenomenal by their part. They had a great game plan, but like I said, that's just theoretical. They executed it to perfection, and that's what they got to do against Respect this Saturday. That game plan, they could have it during the week, but just because they came up with it does not mean it's gonna work. Sometimes things go sour. You got to adjust, and they did everything right against us. Quite honest, that game plan is probably what's best to work against Respect this Saturday to give them the most chances, especially if they execute it the way they did. They had a good practice against us, a nice little scrimmage against the D6 team. For their finals, right? Nice cupcake game there. But yeah, so get your popcorn ready for this one. I expect a very high scoring game. I think each team hits 40 points, no doubt. Over and under, I'm taking over 80. I think the over under is probably like around 75,
Yeah.
77 and
It's
a
a good
half.
over.
I'm taking the over and putting $100 on that.
It's funny. I have a 38-36 final score. So very close to your over under. I do think that it's still a shootout, right? Similar to when they first played each other, 37-34 for nice season in that one. I just think eventually, it's a long game, and there's certain plays you call, and we got two smart defensive coordinators, or three if you want to count nice D's having two defensive coordinators. I think there's going to be a tip ball, a sack, a drop ball, maybe a cold game. I think something's going to happen where there's going to be a pick late in this game, and that may seal it for one of the teams. So I still do got a high scoring game. Like I said, I'm going to go 38-36. I'll get my winner in a minute. But I really do, we talk about, it's kind of annoying because we say it all the time, but this game does come down to converts. I got both teams scoring the same amount of TDs. And I got one team getting no converts, I guess, and then one team getting a 2-point convert, and that we're ultimately being the difference in this game. Because we talked about when they played each other in the first time this season, how close it was. I'd be shocked at any point if a team takes a 2-score lead, and I really mean that. I don't think a team will ever be up by more than 8.
Yeah,
If and I
both these
think
teams
once,
played great
yeah,
confidential football.
once a team takes a 9-point lead, the game's not over. But I don't see either Respect or Nice CDs blowing a double-digit score lead. So I really do see being back and forth, and potentially being the game of the week actually of all six games.
Yeah, I don't disagree with your coming down in conference, but to me, this game's coming down to the team that has the ball last, and I believe that's going to be Respect. They're going to be down a score or less. It could be nice teams, but the team that has the ball in possession last is going to score, and that's how this game's going to end. And I'm going Respect in this one. You
I'm
can't
with you on
pick
that.
against Steve. You can't. You just can't. It's like
Yeah, I know it's tough. It's tough. But look, if there's any team that can take this Respect team down, it is Nice TDs, as we saw early on in the year. But I'm going Respect 38-36, Div 2 champions.
You said respect as well.
Yep, respect by two.
What division do you want to go to next?
Let's go women's.
So women's division, I think we called it right about week two. Steelers, Tigres, look, Diaz Drapo, Majestic Divas combined for 6 points. Even if you put them together and give them all the points to each one of them, neither of them were winning their games. Steelers, Tigres, round three. Steelers are holding the 2-0 head to head. Tigres only two losses have came to Steelers. Tigres coming into this one as, to me, big underdogs as your defending women champions, right? And that's scary for Steelers, right? Because you'd expect that the defending champs would not be underdogs. So if Steelers actually embrace that underdog mentality and come into this game, they have nothing to lose and everything to gain, that's where they could do damage.
Totally. And look, it's rare, like you said, a team that wins a chip, and then they're going to be underdogs in this one. But Steelers have shown they're the cream of the crop. Right, we had one of our two only undefeated teams in all of MFL, going 10-0, and just the way they've manhandled teams and the way they've played against Tigres throughout the course of the season, they've shown they're the best team, and they're definitely coming in as the favorites. What would you say the point spread is in this game? If I'm doing a point spread, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Steelers favored by 7.5. I would
I
say.
got 11 and a half.
Really, that much? Two
Yeah,
score
that
game?
first blowout win still carries a lot of weight because Tigres were almost full force in that one. Steelers winning it by 30. The second one was much closer here.
Yeah,
Much closer. They still won by 10 points, right? So my over under of 11 and a half is not far off there. Look over here. Look, Tigres had a fairly easy match against Majestic Divas. We know Majestic Divas have a great defense. Paolo still threw 3 picks in this game, right?
yeah.
There's no way in hell that Tigers are winning their finals if they throw 3 interceptions against Steelers. There's no way. You got to really play clean football. And like I kind of said for Blue Badgers against Witching Hour, you want to sustain long drives. The longer your drives are, the more you have the ball, the less time that Steelers possess that football. Brandon Leonard, clearly the best quarterback in this division. If you look at regular season stats here, um, 39 touchdowns through 10 games. That's phenomenal. She even added one on rushing with 150 yards, leading the division in rushing yards as well. To go with a nice average of 4 per game, only throwing 11 interceptions, only getting sacked 9. You obviously want to see a higher completion percentage than just 51, but that's the way they run their offense, and it's working, right? I'm not going to question the team that went undefeated right now. Um, Great on converts as well. Look, the one thing that sticks out to me and the one chance that Tigres might have in keeping this game close is by going for two all the time while Steelers go for one. You see that Paula has more 2 point convert tries that have been successful than Brenda has 1 points. So maybe you could steal not a possession, but you could gain 6 points there. Like let's say at halftime, Steelers have scored 3 touchdowns, Tigres only two, but they get their 2 points while Steelers get no points off of converts. You're only down 2 points and not six at that point. Even though you scored one fewer touchdown, they could maybe try to gain a touchdown by doing that. That's one of the things I can see there, and by trying to sustain as long drives as possible. But I feel the way we were speaking about Tigres last season is the way we're talking about Steelers now with all this firepower, like Melissa Ann, Kelly, Monica. They got so many weapons, offensively, defensively. Anyone could carry this team. It's really impressive.
It is, and like you said, it's almost difficult to decide which side of the ball for them is more impressive, like that 31 points per game, or the fact that they're only giving up 7, and the fact that they 154 yards on the ground too. Look, we always say it's tough to beat a team twice. I think it's even harder to beat a team 3 times. And Tigres right are is that a glitch? That's cool.
But
It says Tigres.
oh, oh yeah, because I clicked. Oh yeah, I clicked on the
They're that good that they're teaming up for this game. That's how
like
good
they're
these
what?
squads are. They're that good that they're going to team up and
Yeah,
play
no,
against
because I
each
clicked
other.
on Tigres and then it switched to Tigres and then I went back.
Okay,
And,
okay.
yeah,
Nice. Hey, there you go. That's a cool little thing. Got to get John to fix that. But look, it's tough to beat a team twice. It's even hard to beat a team 3 times. And I'll give you the credit where credit is due. Steelers are the best team, but like you said, you had a very good point just a few moments ago. It just takes one game, right? It's not like the MLB, NBA, NHL playoffs where it's whoever wins best of seven, whoever wins four games. It's just one game.
Yeah.
And the pressure is on Steelers in this one, and I do think that they'll feel it. I do expect a really really good game here. Unfortunately, at the same time as a D1, I would have loved to watch or catch some of it, but it's tough, Terry. Look, we've talked about this all season long. I went Tigres, you said Steelers. Ain't no way I'm backing down right now.
Well, with the
I'm gonna
bet going on, especially, right?
exactly. That's it. The McDonald's. My stomach's already growling.
Who's your
I'm
pick?
going. Like you said, they go for two, right? So I'm gonna go. Each team scores four TDs. Each team gets one convert, but that convert for Tigres is worth two, and that convert for Steelers is worth one. I'm gonna go regulation game 26-25 Tigres. Give Steelers their first loss of the season, reminiscent of that year when Tom Brady choked against the New York Giants.
Yeah, so you're not doing the witching hour, right? In
No,
this,
not I don't got an undefeated season here. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised, and I do know that Steelers are the favorites in this one. But something's telling my gut just tells me Tigres are going to find a way to pull this up. But I do agree with you. Paula's going to have to be significantly better in this game than she was in the semifinals.
I like it. Let's not forget that a trio of Tigres players led in three different statistical. I like that, and let's not forget the trio of Tigres players who have been leading the league in the respective categories. You have Sari leading in receiving yards and touchdowns. You got Edna, who's tied for first for the most picks on the season, including five pick sixes. And you have Roxanne with 13 sacks on the season, including three safeties, right? And three PDs there. So, like, this team can be dangerous. This team has the firepower to go pound for pound with the Steelers. But I said it early when they defeated Tigres early in the regular season in that one-sided game, and I'm sticking to my pick. I got Steelers being your undefeated women's champions, going against the defending champions and beating them and one-upping them by having a perfect season uh, during that run.
It's get your popcorn ready for this one. That's all I know. Get your popcorn or your pizza or your coffee or
Yeah,
what's ready.
or your McDonald's.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Get your McDonald's ready. You best believe it.
So where do you want to go next?
Let's go Div 1.
Wait, is that all we got left?
No, we have Div.
Division three.
Yes, good call.
So Division one, we got a rematch here of last year's finals.
Yeah, it should be a last game. Last time was a close one, right? It was like 40 to 37. Hopefully, it's going to be as tight this game.
Top two teams. Even when you guys faced off in the spring season, I feel besides maybe one game, most of them were back and forth. None of them were one-sided, and it was going pound for pound, score for score. Here you guys faced off, you said twice, right, in the regular season? Three times?
Three times, yeah.
Iron Wolves, Outlaws, Iron Wolves. So yeah, first of all, I just want to say how proud I am of you taking this Iron Wolves franchise to the finals in back-to-back seasons. We know that a few seasons ago, Iron Wolves were literally looking for players off the streets to suit up and wear that. You gotta do it, Willie. You gotta do the wolf. Wearing that Iron Wolf jersey. And yeah, now you've been like a top dog, top contender, back-to-back seasons. You've been having great success at the quarterback position. It seems as if it's your natural position, the position you've been playing the most, like most of your life. But ironically, it's not. You're a receiver. You're a DB. That's the thing you've been playing for like the past 10 years of your flag football life. But the way you're in control in that huddle and you summon that team around you, it's as if you've been playing quarterback for like more years than your age right now. I know it's not that many years, but it really seems like that. That semifinal win against A team, you had a near perfect game. Your defense played phenomenal as well, but the offense really was impressive. Like 1A, 1B complimentary football. A team is no joke. When I saw them with their full roster, I literally told myself for the game, this is going to be this might not be a close one, right? And you guys handed it to them early, a little bit of a scare coming back after, but then you guys finished it off the same way you started. So it's nice to see Iron Wolves succeed. And look, you have a chance now to. I'll always look like they're going off that restarting a new dynasty, right? They reset. They're back at after like winning 5 in a row. Number one now, right? They've been there, done that, going on to the second one, and you have a chance to stop it right now. It's you and the boys on the Iron Wolves have a chance to stop this, or we might be sitting here next fall talking about Iron Wolves about to win their fourth in a row after they've win this fall and next spring, and then it's going to be oh my god, because even if you stop them there, they three-peated once again. What's three? What's four? You can do it right now, Willie. We know what you hate the Outlaws. You could stop it right now. You have the chance right now. Stop it. Like end it at one. You have one. You have the same streak going on. You have the chance to start the dynasty and move forward, right?
Yeah, you're getting me. Thank you. First of all, thank you for the nice comments. You're making me blush there. But yes, you're getting me even more pumped for this game. That's true, right? Like they won their championships in a row, and then it was an A team won a championship. Other teams had won championships in Division One. It was the Holy Trollers, the mixture of Holy Trollers and A team that won championship year two. So it's been a while since Outlaws have won back to back, and like you said, you're right. They do have the chance to stop it, and we've faced off each other 3 times this season, and all 3 times have been pretty good games. So I think we're going to be in for a close one, and it very well come down to whoever has the ball last in this game wins. But got to give a big shout out to like you said, Ardenwell's defense, because our defense has been stellar. We've had two, you can say, defensive player of the year candidates in Infantino and Manu.
Yeah.
Larissa
I
has
think
been a
Manu's
great.
pick on the first drive really set that tone. Like,
Yeah,
it was a high ball that he like would have been a sick catch if he made it as a receiver. He made it as a defender,
yeah.
and right there, that like just set the tone for you guys and just showed your defense is for real. I was really impressed by everyone's play, but especially Manu's on that defensive pick there.
Yeah, no, he's been a ball hawking safety for us from start of the season to up until now. John Larissa has been a great rusher, making a name for himself in the MFL.
Yeah,
Big thing
great
for us.
rusher and snapper as well. Like it's really hard
Yeah,
to do both those positions because you're on the field essentially the whole game, right? Not many people could do that, and to perform that high of a level, and it's not just doing it right because you could just snap balls and you could just rush, but it's to have that much success and put up those numbers while doing both of those essentially all season long, full time.
I think yeah, it was 11 catches last game if I'm not mistaken. But talking about the Iron Wolves defense, it's a big question mark for them is which quarterback are they going to be playing against, right? Are they playing against Steve, playing against Brady? We don't really know who's going to be starting quarterback for the Outlaws, and that both of them are very capable of putting up 50 plus points, but just the way they put up their points is a bit different, and the way kind of they play the game. So looking forward to see which quarterback we're playing against. If we see a hybrid of both of them, I'm sure on the 2 point convert there they'll both of them come in and play. But I'm definitely looking forward to this rematch. Something that's been circled on our calendar for since Saturday.
Who calls the defense for you guys?
It's a mix of Josh and Chris and Manu actually.
Okay, so basically everyone.
Yeah,
When
basically.
you're on the field, I'm sure you have an input as well.
Yeah, it's pretty on a few things here. Say, let's do this, let's do
I
that. The
mean,
guys listen if they want.
the biggest advantage to me for Iron Wolves is that you've played with Steve so many times, right? Like you know his offense inside and out. Assuming Steve is the one that gets the nod here at quarterback, you know what he likes to do, right? And that input to your defensive play caller is invaluable, right? Um, and besides that, I don't know if you'd say it, but do you guys have a preference of who you prefer to face, or?
I think honestly, we played against both of them this year, and that both of them we given us some bit of trouble. So it's not we respect them both equally. So it's not let's hope this guy plays, hope that one plays. And like I said, I'm sure at some point in the game we're going to see a mix of the two of them. So
On a personal level, you'd be pretty upset if you won the championship and you didn't beat Steve, though.
it would be nice to beat the goat. That's for sure. Beating dad and beating the
Yeah,
goat.
beating your dad
Yeah.
in his own game that he taught you when you were a little toddler.
When I was a little baby in my diaper,
Barely
that's
could walk, and he was showing you how to throw the football.
that's the goal. That's the goal. As much as I love Brady, beating that would be special. But I'm sure it's going to be a high scoring game no matter who's quarterback
Yeah,
for
and
Outlaws.
like, look, I don't like. I think both your teams are like super well rounded, great teams. Very impressive season that Outlaws had here. Like, if we're gonna look at their stats. They had a complete makeover this season. It's not at all the same team that you faced in the finals
Right.
last year, where for you guys you swapped out Alexi for Manu, and the rest of the team is pretty much the same, right? If I'm not
Right.
mistaken. Maybe added a James Infantino here or there. But for the Outlaws, like looking at this leading receiver, Clément Biard, like a year ago, no one knew who he was. Now he's leading the Outlaws in receiving yards, catches, touchdowns. Um, the thing that's scary for me is that they had that much success this season with Marvin only playing 4 games, right? Obviously, he was injured for his fair share of games. Um, Kevin Smuda only 7 games played as well, fewer than 200 yards. That's a rare feat for him. So like staving themselves for the finals now, and usually I'd say that having a full month off because the last time they played was October 19th. Now it's going to be November 16th. Could play to their disadvantage, but in this case, with this team, with the experience they have and the championships they possess, they're not going to come out. I don't think they'll come out rusty or not prepared. I think the rest could have just been to their advantage and their benefit. They had a lot of guys nursing a few injuries here, and the fact that most players played fewer than the amount of games they normally play could have just been like load management for this finals, right? Um, so yeah, that's something I wanted to say about the Outlaws. So very impressive in that case. And like I was thinking to myself, what style of game or what type of game will advantage more one team than the other? Like I'm trying to see like who do I think has the edge, and it's really really a coin flip in this one. Like it could be a high scoring game, and either team could be to either team's advantage. It could be a super low scoring defensive game, and again, it could be to either team's advantage. There, it's not like the D4 finals where we said if it's high scoring, I think witching hour are coming away with it, for example, and Blue Badgers don't have a chance. In this one, high scoring, low scoring, usually have I guess for like which team would have the advantage. But I don't know if you agree with me. But in this game here, it could be a low scoring one. It could be a rain doozy game with an ugly game, and either team will be close to winning it. So I really think this one's going to come down to converts. I didn't say that for any of the. It's something we say often, but I didn't say it for any of the other games so far. And the converts are really, really going to be important because, like we saw in that finals last year, it could really change a game. Like each team, I think each team's for sure scoring at least 6 touchdowns here. So if you could get 6 to 12 points worth of converts, that's huge, right? You could gain another touchdown or two in points at that point. So I'm really excited for this one. I'm glad it caps out the fall season, the 2024 season. It's gonna be the last MFL game of the 2024 year, along with the women's at the same time. Um, yeah, it's like I said in Division Two, it's hard to bet against Steve. It's hard to bet against the Outlaws, but for once, I feel if there's a team that could match up to them and could beat them, it's the way you guys played in this semifinal against a team that I saw firsthand. If you guys come away with that same game plan, play offensively, defensively the way you played, you guys are most probably going to be the champions at when it's all said and done, right? But like you guys played a near perfect game on both sides of the football. I'm not saying one mistake and the game's over, but one mistake, you guys got to play even more perfect than you played. You got to get even more interceptions in that case. You got to force more errors on Outlaws, and we know they don't make that many mistakes, right? The number of Division One championships for Outlaws in this game on the field mean nothing when you're going head to head, right? To play it off, as of that day, in the moment, it's who wants that one more, right? And I I believe you guys are maybe going to be a little more hungrier, given that I know I've never won a Division One championship, right?
Not D1, no.
And I know you won an MFL championship as a quarterback in Division Three.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
With
Yeah,
Thunderbucks.
but yeah, you won it, and you also have a Division One championship. So you got to pretend you don't got those. You got to pretend you want more and you're hungry for more. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the case because like you guys didn't short against a team who are a very scary team, but you can't be scared of the name Outlaws, right? You got to go up to this game as if you were playing against like KLB Pocket Rockets. Like it's like don't let the name beat you, right? Play it out on the field, right?
Mhm. Totally. That's it. You got to have belief in yourself, belief in your team. I think that both teams definitely do have that. And yeah, a lot, two different franchises coming up. Like you said, Iron Wolves trying to win their first ever in Division One. Outlaws trying to win their 17th or 18th at this point. I kind of lost count. So different, like you said, different teams making different cases here. But I expect a very similar result. Like last championship, it came down to converse, right? It was a 3-point game at the end of the day, and to what you said, I see a very, very similar result here. Maybe just the difference early on. If one ball gets tipped, one ball gets knocked down, gets intercepted, that could change the whole output of the game. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and I know our guys are too. So,
Prediction time. You're not gonna
yeah,
make yours.
I stay out of this one. I say a good game. I say maybe an overtime game.
You gotta tell me why you guys keep going for one. It's
Um,
working. It's working, so I'm not gonna question it. Like it was, I made the right call, but even like up seven, you went for one a few times to make it an 8 point game.
yeah.
You gotta explain to me, is it just because your percentage on 1 points are so hot, like much greater? Because you've been an advocate for the 2 points at any point in time, even like doesn't matter when, what, where you go for two, right? Especially if you're up seven.
Exactly. I was going to say, especially when you're up seven, we usually go for two. But no, it's been a team decision, and I kind of like it that way. Often the quarterback makes the decision, and I guess rightfully so because he's the one calling the offense, calling the plays.
At the
But
end
when
of the day, if you're hitting them, it doesn't really matter.
that's the thing, right? And we've been hitting our ones a lot more than we've been hitting our twos, and we had 20 points right against at halftime against the 8 team. Whereas if we went for two and didn't get any, only would have had 18. Maybe we would have got one of them, which would have been 20. But we've been doing better at our 1 point converts. So it's really just a matter of succession rate being successful, being higher for going for ones.
Okay. For my prediction, I got a little story. So Iron Wolves have the ball about midfield, down two. Sorry, up a point in this game. Outlaws still have all their timeouts left. So like Iron Wolves know that they can't milk the rest of the game out. They got to try to score and try to milk out as much clock in the process of that. Finally, they maybe score a touch too early, just over a minute left or right under a minute left to get that touchdown to go up 7 points. Now, I made this scenario up because I'm not sure if you go for one or two in this point, but it doesn't matter because you guys will not get it. You'll have a 7 point lead at this point. Outlaws get the ball back. And in last finals, Outlaws won that game on the last play with their defense, right? Remember that if there's I have that picture in my head there, like as if there's, you have those memorable pictures that define the championship. You have that Max Rosenfeld picture where he sacked you for a safety and ended up winning playoff MVP there. This time around, they're winning it with their offense. They march the field. They score on the very last play, down to 1 point. They ask themselves, we want overtime. They say, fuck that. They go for two, drop back quarterback, and Steve hits the 2 point for Outlaws' back-to-back championship on the very last play. 42-41, the final score.
Hey, I don't like that from an analyst. I like that a good close game,
Yeah.
but could
I'll
very
get
no.
I'll get the tissues ready, Willie, because if that happens, I know you're going to be bawling, and I'm going to feel very, very bad for you. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, could very well come down to that. I'm super super excited for the game. Two good teams, and I know we're excited to get the rematch on.
yeah. That was a
It's good. It's good.
yeah. Division three.
And Div 3, let's get it.
So another one against two seed in this division here. We have CIA against Ducks. I remember reffing this game in the regular season. It was a close one. It came down to converts. I think it will again. Where is it here? 21-19 was the final score. Ducks defeating secure top shooters by a very low scoring game of 12-7. Arnolds, we would have thought had that game, ended up losing it 19 to 27-19 here. I believe they were up late-ish in the game.
I think Iron Wolves had a 12-0 lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then a 19-6.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay, the last touchdown I think was at the end to end the game. I know they were just down 8 at the end, eh?
Yeah, because they stopped the convert.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, great season by secure top shooters and Iron Wolves, but now Ducks, CIA Fusion. I think these were clearly your top two teams throughout the whole regular season. Um, I expect a little bit of a more higher scoring game in this one. I remember it wasn't a very clean game by either team. Both teams left a lot of points on the field, off the board. Alex Blisky, 3 interceptions. That's not very like him. He did run 12 times for 58 yards. The Ducks didn't seem to have an answer to that. If he does that in this game, I think it'll help them a lot. Ducks are for sure going to need to score more than 12 points in this one, right? Um, but yeah, it's tough because like both these teams are really really good. I think I slightly lean towards CIA Fusion in this one.
I got an overtime game, man. I got an
Oh,
overtime
I
game.
love that. I really hope we get at least one overtime game this Saturday.
I think it'll be this one. Yeah, in doing my picks off air and going back and forth, this is the one I went back and forth the
Yes,
most
you
in.
did do stuff off there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, if you're gonna do homework, it's got to be for the finals. So, as you know, may as well do my homework once in a while when the teacher checks. But like we said, 21-19 was the last time was the only time they played each other this season. I think it's going to be a very similar scoring game. I got 26-26 this game going to overtime. I'll give my pick in a few seconds, but Ducks, we got a great overall team here. Bussière, obviously one of the bigger names in Division Three,
Yeah.
leading his team. Dave Lepin been a good quarterback for them, and then we have kind of the more experience when it comes to Saplitsky for
Say
CIA
that again. How you pronounce it?
Plitsky for CIA
Again.
Fusion, and we have McAleer and Spino. So guys like that for CIA Fusion and Kayla obviously as well too. So I think it's gonna be a really good game. We got more athleticism and youth against kind of it's chemistry and a bit more of the what do you want to say, like the guys that have been playing the game for a while and veteranship, and I know what needs to be done to come away victorious. So I do
Yeah.
have a really close game. I have a really fun game. It seems like all the games this week are going to be tight. I know we always kind of do that, but just like you said, it's one against two, right? One against two, one against two, one against two, and when you have those matchups, it foreshadows a close finals, I think.
Yeah. Great. Great. Great insight there, Willie. You're doing well. But yeah, look, one thing that surprises me is Alex Zaplisky only 1 pick on the season here. He's gonna have to play a bigger role on defense. You have Alex Bussière on sorry, I think Antoine Bussière on the Ducks team. Alex Bussière is the guy I used to do track and field with. It's not the same guy. It's Antoine Bussière. 9 touchdowns, 12 picks on the season, 11 PDs. 2 of those pick sixes. Look, it's going to be heavyweight against heavyweight. It's going to be who blinks first. One thing important I'd like to note is I really hope Connor's doing well. He got injured pretty badly in that semifinal game. Not sure if he's going to play this final. I really hope he's doing well, first of all, and then bonus if he could even play in this game. We know he's 1A, 1B there with Kayla. Kayla, 12 touchdowns. Your red zone threat there. Alex throwing 40 touchdowns. Look, it's cliche, but the quarterback who makes the fewest mistakes is going to win this game. Looking at their season stats, both these quarterbacks had great regular seasons, right? But I think each of them did throw, I think, a few too many interceptions, right? Yeah, you have Dave Lepin with 18 and Alex, say it again?
This is the Blitsky.
Yeah, Alex Zablisky with 15 there. Each quarterback getting sacked at least 12 times. Their completion percentage is just around 60%. So like you're gonna have to play a much cleaner game to win this championship, right? If a quarterback here throws more than 2 picks, I don't think they're winning that game. And when you're averaging a pick and a half in a game to 2 picks a game, you really got to clean that up, especially in the finals, especially against teams that have these ball hawks right here. Jason McAleer in that semifinal, I think he had 3 picks on John. Was it 2 or 3?
At least two. He had a game sealing one.
Yeah, I feel like he had 2 game sealing ones there. He had a total of 3 picks there, so watch out for him. If you're Alex, you do not want to throw near Antoine's side, ball hawk on that end of the ball. But yeah, I like your overtime call, but I don't think it's going to go to overtime. I think it's going to be a very similar game as it was in the regular season. That's going to come down to converts, but a little bit more high scoring. I'm going to go 26-24. CIA Fusion are your Division 3 champs.
I got 26-26. This game going to overtime. Ducks start with the ball. What do? They decide to go for one. They get the 1 point convert, 27-26. Very similar to the way you said how Outlaws game was going to finish. CIA Fusion say, what do we do best? And that's going for two. Apparently they get their twos more than they get their ones. Connor will not only play in this game, but he will catch the game-winning two-point convert to crown CIA Fusion as your Division 3 champions, 28-27 overtime victory, final score. CIA Fusion gets it done. Connor gets a game-winning catch, and we have a heck of a game. Not sure what time this game is at.
It's
Um,
the first one.
10:30. Okay, nice. So it'll be one of the early
10:30.
ones. So I hope people have their coffee and their croissants while watching the game. But yeah, I got CIA Fusion winning this one. Very similar to the first matchup. And honestly, opposite to what you said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see picks. I could see each quarterback throwing 3 picks, but offenses at the end of the day kind of getting it done and hunkering down when it matters most for CIA Fusion. So yeah, I got an overtime game and a good one.
Do you you research? That's why you got more 2 points than 1 points, right?
No, I remember Sapitsky saying that when they were up by 8 in one
Oh
game and they
yeah,
went for two.
yeah. I'm surprised you went for three there. That was probably when they were like really blowing out a team they didn't want to be like unsportsmanlike, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
but yeah, I love your prediction, and I like both teams here. Unfortunately, one could win, but great season by both teams nonetheless. Ducks first, like well, they played last. A few, most of these players played last season under the Bearhood in Division Four. What are they called?
Yeah, different name, eh?
Yeah, yeah, I think it was the Bearhood team with Dave Lepin, and then he brought his own boys and did his own thing in Division Three. So yeah.
Nice jerseys, very nice jerseys for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't like the Oregon Ducks, but they have one of the nicest jerseys in college football, and copying them for the MFL gives you one of the nicest jerseys in the MFL, hands down.
Yeah,
Speaking of jerseys, now that we're gonna conclude the show, we did all divisions, right?
yeah. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure.
Diego Castro's company, Just Carry It, is offering a 10% rebate to all MFL champions after this weekend. If you order a full set of shorts and jerseys. So best of luck. A little more to play for. You guys got your brand new Arnold jersey. So maybe you could order like a set of hoodies or something for to go with your championship T-shirts if you guys win, right?
That'd be
We got
sick.
some
Pretty up.
nice championship shirts done also. So lots to play for this weekend. Playoff MVPs are on the line. Um, if you had to pick between winning a spring championship or a fall one, which one do you prefer?
Something about fall and just it's football weather. Playing in October with the leaves, it being a little bit chilly. To me, that's football. As when it's hot and humid and everyone has sunscreen dripping down their face, like that's cool and everything. But no, for me, fall is kind of a
For
bit
me,
more of a
it's
priority.
definitely the fall because if you win in the spring, we have the get together, and then the next day the regular season starts again, and then you're just a champion for another 10 more weeks. You don't get to save like appreciate it as much. Whereas when you win in the fall, yes, we have the winter season, but not all teams play in the winter. There's fewer divisions and all that. So I feel that you appreciate it and you taste that championship for a much longer time, right? You need to go all the way. Like now we're crowning the champions on November 16th. Our spring champions are crowned, I believe, the first week in August. So you go quite some time as the defending champion, right? Like right now, Tigres, for example, who won the championship in the spring. 3 months later, they might not be the champions anymore. If Steelers win it this year, they're gonna have to wait up until August to no longer be your MFL outdoor champion. So I just feel that like you have it. Like I remember when I won my first championship was in the fall. Back then, we were allowed to keep the trophy because no one would be breaking them. And I had that trophy in my office for the whole winter, just looking at it every day. So that's just why I have that preference for the fall.
It's a good point. I never thought of it that way, but you got a good take there, Lisa.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see all you folks on Saturday and on Sunday. We didn't mention it, but we have our get together
Yeah,
on
true.
Sunday at the Champ Sports Bar starting at 5. Maybe Jorge will put that up on the screen right here. 5 p.m. We're going to be announcing our winners at 5:30 for all the awards. If you're there in person and you win an award, you get a rebate to your next season. In addition to that, just by being there, we're going to raffle some half-season offs for future seasons. So show up. You might win some cash credit on your next MFL seasons. We know you're going to be playing MFL for a long time. It's a great vibe. It's the Grey Cup. Unfortunately, Alouettes are not there, but we could cheer against the Argos. But yeah, it's a great moment to see John maybe drunk. If you want to ask to reduce your rating, they should most probably be calculated by then. So if you want to get some rating adjustments, that's the place to discuss it. Who knows how flexible it will be for the winter season. Oh yeah, and speaking of winter season, the registration will be open on Monday. So MFL championships this Saturday. Sunday we're running the ratings. Monday we're opening up the registration for the winter season.
Hey, that sounds blessed. And yeah, come watch the championship games. We only got 3 time slots right now. We have 6. You don't have to be there the whole day. Come for 10:30. You get to leave around 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Good way to spend some Saturday, and then you can go home and watch some college football later.
Yes, sir. All right. We might have a show next week. Might not. We'll play it by ear. Pleasure doing the show with you, Willie.
Yes, likewise, my G.
You were great
Likewise.
today. I really loved your insight. Hopefully, the viewers liked it as well. And we'll see you all on Saturday.
See you, gang. See you Saturday.